Welcome back, everyone. Today we are continuing our series in preparation for Epic Universe. Now today we are doing Dark Universe. Now this is one of my most anticipated lands in general at Epic Universe, but more importantly, I think we are all excited to see what they do with such a unique experience that we really haven't had in any of the theme parks before. So as we dig into this, I feel like Islands of Adventure is the best place to do so, as we have a little bit more of the creepy vibes here inside of Islands if you really look around. So let's go ahead, continue this on. If you guys are not aware, we do have some of the other worlds that are coming to Epic Universe already done, and we are trying to finish this up before our day over at Epic Universe later this week. So just bear with us as we are trying to get through everything. Again, we are in crunch time here, but let's go get checked in. Now, since we're talking about Dark Universe, you know we gotta stop at the most spooky place here in Islands of Adventure. And no, I'm not talking about Seuss Landing. I am talking about the All Hallows Eve Boutique. All right, let's go see what we can find. See if we got anything new. We do see Creature right up front, which we have been following for quite a while here at this point. We'll be seeing Frankenstein's monster very, very soon, and Bride. Hopefully they are out there doing a meet and greets of some sort. Well, we do have actually a few new things over here. Take a look at this. We have the Witch's Brew right here. Drink at your own risk. I wonder if it's just a container. I don't hear anything in there. This new, it's kind of like a mug style, like a little insert. I feel like you could maybe put a candle or something in there. We have some new patches over here, some new coasters and things like that up here. Yeah, look at all this. Definitely a lot of new items up here. This is like a little container. Lid comes off there. We have another one of these. So yeah, I bet you this is just kind of like a little drink holder. Deadly poison. That is unique. Was not expecting to see all this today. We have another mug over here too. Very cool design on that one too. How much is that? 30 bucks. We have this like book thing right here. Little journal. We have a little zipper purse, and then another zipper purse down here. So I wonder what's going on, if this is something specific or what, but also we have these candles. Alchemy, home and gift collection. It's an LED light, so it looks like it's gonna be this here, which is pretty cool. Oh, this shirt is new. It's kind of like a burning hand. Very, very soft, by the way. This might be the brand here, Cynthia Mira. Little poison potion. So I think the top, yeah, just kind of comes off, and you can store drinks right in there. Wolf spirit, white sage, so a little maybe incense burn if you guys are interested in that. Salt and pepper shakers here. They look like mini bats. So yeah, quite a bit of new merch in here compared to what we saw just last week. This is a unique umbrella. I don't think you can buy it though. Kind of giving Oddfellow a little bit, right? We have the Universal Monsters kind of figurines over here too. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the umbrella? You can buy the umbrella. Okay. So yeah, quite a bit of new options here inside of the All Hallows Eve Boutique. So let's talk about the attractions that are coming here to Dark Universe. And there are two of them. We have two pretty thrilling options. Number one is Curse of the Werewolf, which seems to be kind of a rotating, somewhat spinning style coaster. I think there are some launches in here, and I think you're kind of going through the woods and kind of experiencing this, story of the werewolf, which I think is going to be pretty cool to definitely experience at night. I bet you they're going to have some really cool night elements with that. But then the one that everybody knows, that would be Monsters Unchained. And this ride looks to be pretty incredible from everything that I'm hearing and seeing so far. And I believe the way that it works, it will have a Kuka arm system similar to Forbidden Journey, and maybe a little bit more intense though than Forbidden Journey. Hello Velocicoasters, we're talking about intensity. But I think from what I am hearing, it's gonna be a lot more practical elements. The screens aren't as aggressive and potentially nauseating for somebody like myself. Not everybody gets nauseous on Forbidden Journey. I feel like it's only a percentage of people that actually do, where I do think that Monsters Unchained, I think, is going to be a lot better for anybody that potentially does get nauseous. I think you're going to have a lot better of a time. but might be a little bit more spooky. So it depends on if that's worth trading off for you or not. I think Dark Universe in general is just going to be an incredible land filled with just like spooky things, and just really taking that experience to the next level. You know, when you look at other areas of other parks, nobody's doing this spooky vibe, and definitely not to this level for sure. So it's going to be cool to see just the development of this entire land. Looks like we have some construction going on over here. Also, Velocicoaster was only 60 minutes. So once again, just crowds, busy, but the lines, not really. I'm also looking for a bite to eat right now, and I've actually never had Burger Digs. I don't know if I'm gonna have it today, but as we're looking for something to eat, I guess let's talk a little bit about some of the food options that are coming. So we do have 3 kind of 4-ish options, because I know one of them is split up a little bit. But we do have the Burning Blade Tavern. That is the big windmill that is on fire there that lights up every so often. Been hearing some pretty awesome things about that as well, so that has me looking forward to it. We also have Das Steakhouse, which I think is going to operate pretty similarly to kind of like the 3 Broomsticks, or something like the Leaky Cauldron, where you're gonna kind of like sit down and kind of order at your table there, kind of big style service. And I think they are going to have the team members dressed up as vampires, so maybe eating with the vampires, which would be pretty cool. And then we do have the Lacey's Cottage, which I talked about in kind of our complete guide video. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to check that out, where I believe they are going to have cinnamon bread. So again, I talked about it in that video, but if it's anything even remotely close to what they offer at Dollywood, we're gonna be in trouble. I might be gaining a few pounds over the next year. Well, I came over here to Thunder Falls thinking that maybe I could pick something up here, but I don't think anything here is necessarily kind of what I'm looking for. So I think I'm gonna wait for just a little bit. I kind of wanted to get a Wimpy's burger. Haven't had one of those in a little while. But I have also been hearing that over inside of the Dark Universe that there are some pretty good food items. I know a lot of people have been saying that Das Steakhouse is pretty good. So definitely a lot of options that we want to try. Let's talk a little bit about some of the kind of extra options that you have here inside of Dark Universe for shopping now. Now we do have the Darkmoor Monster makeup experience, which we did have a makeup experience here at Universal Studios, and it was very unique, but it didn't run very long. And I wonder if the whole point of that was to pretty much do like a test run for what they are going to do here in Dark Universe, where you can actually go and you'll get like your face painted and get kind of all like I don't know, transformed really into a monster. And I know there are a few different levels of experiences. Again, we talk about this in the complete guide. I won't mention it anymore, but again, if you guys want to have like full breakdowns of all the lands in one video, you can also do that without our hype list there. The 2 that I'm really seeing is like one that's kind of like makeup based, and then the other one where you get like accessories. So my guess is if you're like becoming like the bride, maybe you get like the wig, or you know, like if you're, you know, doing like the Frankenstein's monster, maybe you get like the bolts or something. I don't know what all is included when they say accessories and things like that, but I would say like if you're gonna do it, I would probably just go all out. Granted, I'm sure it's going to be hot, but I mean, it's going to be hot no matter what. But like middle of summer, I could imagine, you know, some crazy accessories could be interesting. But I mean, if you're gonna, you know, do this makeup experience, why not go all out? Yeah, definitely, we might have to try something like that. I'm sure Nicole would love to go play, you know, Monster Makeover at some point. If you know, maybe we'll hit a goal or something, and we'll do that if that does end up being the case. But either way, yeah, that does look pretty interesting. And then the others seem to be kind of your straightforward shops. You have the Guild of Mystics, the Manor Storehouse, and then Pretorius's Scientific Oddities. So what it kind of seems like are some of the stores, you know, like the Mystics. It's like, okay, maybe you have more like jewelry and things like that. Again, I don't totally know. I know that they're selling like a vinyl or something of the music, obviously, because, you know, the score that we're getting inside of the land, and I'm assuming, you know, people are going to go for that if you guys are interested in something like that. So that should be at one of those shops there. But I do think like overall, some of these shopping options should be pretty cool. I'm interested to see how they theme them. You know, obviously going inside of the All Hallows Eve boutique is always a lot of fun, or whenever you do like the HHN tribute store, they're really fun to like walk through. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like that level of theming in there, whereas you walk through, you're just like, this is incredible. Or is it going to be still like mostly store themed, and then kind of like with like, elements of, the land. It would be cool if they went like all out like they do for like Tribute Store and stuff like that. But obviously, that's pretty aggressive and wishful thinking. But you never know. Maybe we'll see. I know people have already been in there, so I'm sure they could, confirm or deny that. But, staying spoiler free. We'll be there soon. But I am looking forward to see kind of like what the design looks like. And specifically because, again, All Hallows Boutique and the Tribute Store, I think they just do such a good job. So that it is a possibility. It just depends on how much, they want to have that up year round. It takes a lot of kind of like upkeep sometimes, if you have certain things that are in place. So we'll see, but overall, yeah, some cool options there. Back out into the sun we go. Like I said, I think I need to eat something here. I'm also definitely feeling the heat today. It is a warm one. But let's talk about our final offering here that we see, at least in the app, and that would be the character meet and greets, which I think they've pretty much confirmed. A lot of the Universal monsters will be there to meet and greet. I have heard a few other things about some other characters. I didn't want them spoiled, but unfortunately they were for me. But I have been hearing we have a few extra characters that I wasn't expecting that you can meet around the lands. Also, we're supposed to have roaming like musical instrument players of some variety there, so I am looking forward to that in some capacity. Hopefully it is there. I haven't heard anybody talking about it, so I don't know if it's there yet or if that's scrapped. I don't really know. I believe they didn't have the outdoor section open here for a little while, and it is back and open. Also, if you guys are not aware, I believe they took out the 3D elements. I wanted to get a Wimpy's burger, but the line was pretty long. But I bet you these people are loving the fact that they're about to get drenched and get out of the heat for just a little bit. Let's start our top 5 list as we are heading back to the front of the park. Number 5, I think it's gonna be the makeup experience. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to see a lot of people, do it and kind of walking around the land all dressed up. I like when people get involved. It's kind of the same reason over at Super Nintendo. You oftentimes have people wearing like all of the stuff for Nintendo Land. You've got Luigi and Mario and Toad, and I don't know, like you become part of the land in a sort of way. And I'm hoping that this is kind of another way to do it with Dark Universe. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that would probably be my number 5. It's just overall the monster makeup experience, and kind of part of me is just hoping that Nicole does it. So, maybe that's why I'm a little biased there and putting it in my top 5. But yeah, monster makeup experience, number 5. Number 4 would be the food for me, for sure. I think overall, I've been hearing pretty decent things about it. I'm excited to try some unique foods, and maybe it's just kind of like the predecessor of HHN food, where I tend to like a lot of it. So maybe the idea that we might be getting some spooky food, and that kind of like goes hand in hand in a sort of way, has me excited. So I think the food is going to be a lot of fun, and I think the environments are going to be cool. And then also like the Burning Blade Tavern kind of being as part of this whole thing. I don't know like how much they're gonna like have for capacity. I don't know if it's gonna turn out to be something kind of like Olga's Canteen, where you kind of have this situation where like so many people want to go that you kind of have to get a callback or reservation for it. I don't know, but if it's like as popular as that, I could see it, going into a system like that. We'll have to see when the park does open, but I am looking forward to the food and the drinks of Dark Universe. I think they're going to be really fun to kind of see what they do with them. I think they're going to do some really creative things with, the food, which we've already seen some of. Maybe they're using black dyes to make it look really dark, or like red to, kind of make it look bloody or something. So I think the creativity with the food is almost just as like important to me as like what the actual food is or what it tastes like. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I would have to put number 4 being the food offerings inside of Dark Universe, and almost a little bit more specifically, how do they look? Number 3 for me, as we are walking up to a land that has multiple attractions here, it's gonna be Curse of the Werewolf. I think Curse of the Werewolf is gonna be a lot of fun. I think, especially at night, like I was pointing out, it's gonna be a blast, and I'm really looking forward to trying out just in general that ride, trying different seats on that ride, seeing what they do. I don't know if it's free spinning or what, so if it is, I'm a little nervous, but if it's controlled, I think I'm just looking forward to being able to experience that ride in different seats, different interactions, different times of the day. I do think, like I said, that'll be definitely a night ride kind of ride. But yeah, I think Curse of the Werewolf, that would have to be my number 3 for sure. What do you think Universal does with all of the stuff that they collect on these big giant matte sheet things up here? Do they end up like selling them at an auction? Do they bring them to Lost and Found? I mean, how often do they go up there too? I feel like you can't go up there that often. Or do they go every night? Questions that I would love answered that I feel like aren't very important, but I still want to know. I believe it is time to talk about our top 2 now and what we do have, because I'll tell you what I am torn between. And we have Monsters Unchained, obviously the attraction, the big attraction in this land. I think a lot of people are looking forward to, but also the vibes, the entire land, the entire vibe of Dark Universe, because again, we don't have anything like this. You know, a lot of people love HHN. I feel like this kind of gives you that year-round HHN feel to some capacity. Obviously not the exact same, but again, to some level. So that's kind of what I am torn between for my 1 and 2. Now I will say, originally I had one versus the other. Immediately I was like, it's definitely this. Then I thought about it and I was like, well, if I'm being honest, it might be this. And I've swapped them back and forth. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below, what are you guys most looking forward to inside of Dark Universe? Let's go ahead and do our top 2. All right, here it goes. Number 2, it would be the vibes. And number 1, it would be Monsters Unchained. There's a lot of back and forth that I had here, because the vibes I think are going to be incredible in Dark Universe. I want to see it at night. I want to get the spookiness. I want to feel all of the feels inside of this land. But I also really want to ride Monsters Unchained, and I just want it to be everything that I am hoping it is going to be and more. I want to be slightly terrified when I ride the ride. I want it to just be that experience that I think I'm building up in my head. But more importantly, I really think that Forbidden Journey is such a cool attraction, but because I get nauseous riding it more often than not, I don't like to ride it. But I think the system is so cool, the way that you interact with the elements. And I think if we have Monsters Unchained perform like that ride, but feels a little bit better to ride in my head and I'm not getting nauseous, I think I'm gonna ride it a ton, because I'm really looking forward to not having that experience. You know, I don't know. I'm saying it's not gonna make you as nauseous. That's just what I'm hearing, but I really hope that is the case, because I think that Kuka arm system and taking you through these scenes and doing stuff like that is really cool, and I'm hoping it delivers. I'm really hoping it delivers. And so here's to me kind of putting all my eggs in that basket right now, but the vibes are a fraction of a fraction away. I could definitely put them at number 1, but I think it's just because of the Forbidden Journey situation, I think I want it so badly to be that kind of ride that I can ride and not feel sick and nauseous on afterward. So I am rooting very heavily that I can do that ride and it doesn't mess me up. So that is my list. Let me know your guys in the comments below. But that is it for us here at Islands of Adventure. Again, we did 2 videos today. If you didn't notice, I just swapped my hats to a different color. Same shirt. I didn't even use this camera. That way I could have everything lined up. I'm sure you guys were able to tell, and you could tell probably by thumbnails or something. Doesn't really matter. Either way, if you had fun with me here today, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps out so much. If you guys want to see more Epic Universe content or anything related to the theme parks and fun stuff to do down here in Orlando, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And more importantly, thank you guys so much for being here.